Hello and welcome to another episode of the FHS podcast. I am Ali Shahid with The Bench and Future Hospitality Summit. And I have a very special guest today. Welcoming back, actually, we have Tjalling Vanderberger, who is the VP of Enterprise Sales at Adyen. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did say that right. Thank you very much for having me on, Ali.
No, thank you for joining us. How are you? How's everything?
Very good. It was a busy summer, so if you're in sales, that's always a good sign. So no slowdown for us.
Well, tell us more about that. What does one being a VP of Enterprise Sales at Adyen do, and how are things at the moment?
Yeah, so I mean, being in sales at Adyen is really interesting. We're lucky that we work with some of the world's best businesses globally. For me, what that means is I help hotels, I help entertainment businesses, restaurants, but also e-commerce businesses with all their payments needs. And as I'm sure you're aware, there's a lot happening in fintech, in technology in general, and payments plays a big part in that. And we really enjoy helping our merchants fit that last piece in the puzzle.
TJ, if I may, because I know we've talked before, and I do say TJ, and I'll just repeat that. Thanks, TJ. So tell us a bit about the solution. Then it's payment service. So let's understand a little bit more about what Adyen does.
Yeah, sure. So Adyen is a global payments provider. What that means is we help merchants accept payments pretty much all around the world. What kind of sets Adyen apart is that Adyen has built this payments platform from the ground up. Payments used to be kind of dominated by traditional local banks. And banks are really good at doing banking stuff. So they are really good at issuing. They're really good at providing loans and bank accounts, etc. But banks are inherently not tech companies. And Adyen was founded based on the idea of what if we let engineers build a payments company? And that's what happened. So we're a publicly listed company based out of Amsterdam. We have 28 offices around the world, including Dubai, where I'm based. We have control end-to-end over the payments lifecycle. So that means from the moment that a guest or a customer clicks checkout, all the way down to paying it out to the merchant's bank account, we're in full control over that cycle. And we do that both for online, so for e-commerce transactions, as well as offline through our point-of-sale terminals.
Wonderful. So, how long has Adyen been doing this, TJ?
So, we have been founded in 2006. We've been doing it for quite a while. Our founders have already founded a payments company before, and have sold that off to a bank, and then said, "Let's do this again." And that's also where our name is from. So, Adyen in Surinamese means to do it over again. And I think they've succeeded. We're a publicly listed company. We process over $1 trillion a year across multiple markets.
$1 trillion a year, doing it all over again. Very interesting. So 2 decades almost you've been in business. How would you say the technology and hospitality landscape has transformed over this time?
Yeah, I think, the beauty about hospitality is that it's kind of written in traditions, right? And what we see is that the hospitality industry is often quite late when it comes to innovation. If you see what is market standard in certain other industries like retail or e-commerce, that is still kind of considered innovation for hospitality. And we are seeing a shift in that. We are seeing at kind of corporate level within these large hospitality companies that there is a big focus on innovation, but because it is such a hard industry to innovate, so many moving parts, we see that it's a little bit slower than perhaps with other industries. But I think the growing trend is that hotels and hospitality companies are looking at technology in order to either make the guest experience better, but also really become more operationally efficient. And I feel that Adyen fits really well into that.
That's interesting. How you started with the response to that question, because we noticed this as well, and I guess the hospitality investment decision makers keep this as a subject matter that, well, hospitality is a bit of a laggard when it comes to technology adoption, and when you compare to other industries. So, in your opinion, why is that?
Well, I think first of all, I think it's culturally right. Just as an industry, where it's quite written in tradition. It is you check in through the front office, and then you check out through the front office, and the porter opens up the door and wishes you a good onward journey. So I think there's a lot kind of written in tradition. And then I think second of all, arguably most important, is there are a lot of moving parts also when it comes to stakeholders, right? You have the individual property that wants to have a say in what's going on. Then there is the management company, like the big brands, and then there is the ownerships. In the end, what it boils down to is who's picking up the tab for this innovation. Is that the owner? Is that the brand? How does that play out? So what we see is especially when it comes to new technology, like for example fintech and adopting a new payments platform, is that often the brand is pointing at the owner and the owner is pointing at the brand as to the decision making. And I think that slows down innovation. I think at some point there needs to be a decision as to kind of where the brand or where the hotel is going.
Very interesting. So, of course, there's so much you can do with technology. There's also sometimes you just can't hide from things that are completely changing the way we live. And, AI is all the buzz these days, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's trying to incorporate AI into their strategies. What's your view in AI and what that means for hospitality, given that you are in this tech space?
Yeah, no, look, I think it's commemorable or commendable that hotels and the hospitality industry is looking at these new technologies. However, when I'm speaking with hotels or with hotel brands, often I ask them to kind of take a step back and say, 3 years ago we were all talking about the metaverse and see where that brought us. Now I think AI is a little bit more of a kind of a paradigm shift than the metaverse, but I always invite hoteliers to look really critically at how they're currently doing business. If you go into any random 4, 5, or 3-star hotel on a 9 o'clock in the morning, what you see is still lines of people waiting to check in and check out. Why is that? Same thing goes for a night audit. Why are hotels still doing a night audit where they employ people or accountants late at night to do line-by-line reconciliation of all the payments that have been done in the hotel? And often the question or the answer that you get is, yeah, we've always done it that way. Well, that for me is kind of the stifling innovation, and adopting technology that kind of fixes the basics is, I think, more important than now jumping on the next new trend. Yeah, that's really what I see. So I really feel that there is still a lot that can be done in terms of operational efficiency and guest experience that needs to be fixed first before you look into the next new shiny thing.
Is that what your company does, TJ? Do you help fix the basics when it comes to IT infrastructure as well? Is that something you assist with?
Yeah, so I would see Adyen kind of as the from a payments perspective, at least, as a spider in the web that helps as a bridge between all the different systems that a hotel uses. So just having a great payments provider doesn't solve all these issues, but having a payments provider like Adyen, who is fully integrated into all the major players in the hotel tech ecosystem, like point of sale for F&B, PMS for the front office, channel managers, your websites, etc., but also new innovations such as check-in kiosks or mobile terminals. All those things we are fully integrated to. And that helps with creating a unified experience across, every channel that you use as a hotel. And what that brings with it is first of all, a better guest experience. Guests are able to pay with their preferred payment method, whether that is online or offline. They're able to use an app to check in or check out, and they don't have to go through the front office. All those innovations are only possible if you have a payments provider that is able to integrate to whatever you want to do now or in the future.
Got it. And then you've got, of course, you've got the question of booking.com or hotels.com versus brands trying to create their own systems. Where does Adyen fit into that, and what trends are you seeing in this area?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think OTAs have played an enormously important role in the growth of the hospitality industry as a whole. However, I always ask hoteliers when they complain, like, "Oh yeah, we don't want to put all our eggs in the OTA basket. We want to drive our own channels." So well then be honest and put your website next to that of Booking.com or Expedia or any other OTA, and just count how many clicks it takes in order to make a booking in one of your own properties. And often it's 2 or 3 times as many clicks. And that is just purely something that you can fix from a UI perspective. But then if you look at a Booking.com or an Expedia, two of our clients, if you want to book a hotel room and you're based in the Netherlands, you need to have Ideal, because without Ideal, you cannot, that's a payment method in Holland, you basically are underserving that whole demographic. Same thing is for Germany, where PayPal is super popular, or in Brazil, where Boleto and other local payment methods are super important. So if you're just offering Visa and MasterCard and maybe Amex, you're not able to reach 100% of your demographic. And that is what OTAs have done really well, is they've seen payments as a competitive advantage, and they've actually enabled all these local payment methods in order to have their customers pay in the way that they want.
So are you saying that if I'm in Brazil and I have a preference to, I don't want to pay with the MasterCard or American Express or Visa, and I have a local preference, I can go to booking.com and that option will be there, versus if I go to the brand's own site and that might not be there? Is that what you're saying?
Typically the case, yeah. So typically, I don't know specifically about Booking.com and Brazil, but in theory, that is definitely possible. Adyen offers about 155 local payment methods, and what that means is wherever a payment method is available for Adyen's merchants, it's really easy to just, with a click of a button, turn certain payment methods on and off, and that is particularly important for markets where Visa, MasterCard, and Amex are not prevalent. We think maybe as in the Western in Western Europe or in the UAE that everyone has a Visa or a MasterCard, but that's really not the case when you look at it from a global scale.
See, we've got an FHS, our Hospitality Investment Decision Making Community, hotel owners, investors. And of course, if you're an investor, your eye is on the bottom line. You're trying to see what does all of this mean for my ROI. That's what I really care about. And these technologies sound great. Sometimes they might not translate. Sometimes they might. But could you, from your perspective, explain how does bringing in technologies like these help improve return on investment for owners, investors? As you were saying earlier, they're the ones signing the checks. So what is the message to them? And then how long does it take? I'll put in a million now, or then how long do I have to wait for this to become something that's I can reap the benefits from?
Yeah, no, very good question. So I think what is happening a lot in the Middle East is when you ask about ROI, it's only about cost saving. And what is the easiest way to save costs is to put 4 payments providers next to each other and choose the least expensive one, right? The one that has the lowest percentage. But then what we always invite our potential merchants to do is to look at what we call the total cost of ownership of your current solution, and or the price of doing nothing. And what we help our merchant with is really building a business case where we say, yes, we might be more expensive than your local bank. We always say that up front. However, currently you might have 5 people in accounting that are doing line-by-line reconciliation every single day. You might be losing out on conversion online because you're not offering an optimized payments experience online. You might be losing out on a revenue in your restaurants because your tables aren't turning over fast enough, because your staff is stapling together Visa and MasterCard receipts, putting it in the Visa bucket, MasterCard bucket, to do, again, that line-by-line reconciliation. So we take a really holistic approach, and what we've seen with merchants that kind of took that leap of faith is that once you're in, and once you've used Adyen and you've seen what the effect that it has on guest experience as well as operational efficiency, the small delta in costs outweighs the benefits for sure. The benefits outweigh the delta in costs.
It sounds, talking to you, TJ, that you're describing some knowledge gaps that exist, perhaps in those that are not proactively adopting technologies to become more efficient, turn around customers faster. What's an overview of some of the challenges that you face?
Yeah, I think the challenge that we face is, even though we've been in the Middle East now for 3 or almost 4 years, we're still a new player. And what we've seen is that local banks and local financial institutions have kind of had a chokehold on the market, because it was, you open up a hotel and this is your payments provider, and they drop some terminals on you, and there you go, you're ready to take payments. And what that has done is it has kind of and then different payments providers have also really joined the race to the bottom when it comes to pricing. And what that has done, it has stifled innovation, because if you sell payments for barely any money, you're also not going to invest in it to make sure that the tech is up to date. So that has resulted in kind of a feeling of the fact that payments are a commodity. And that's what we really are fighting against, because what we see is that by having a unified commerce experience, by having an experience where payments is frictionless, whether that is online or offline, that it has a massive effect on the guest experience and efficiency. And what it also does, it also makes sure that hotels are ready for the future, because who knows what's around the corner in terms of technology, what the big hospitality tech providers are going to bring out into the market. If tomorrow they bring out something that is revolutionary, that's going to help you make your guest experience even better, you need to have a payments provider that is able to, within a couple of weeks, integrate to that new technology and make sure that you're ready for that. And so I think that's the challenge. But on the other hand, it's also an opportunity. The fact that we need to do that education piece, that's why I get paid every month.
So in your role then, since we're talking about why you get paid every month, should we talk a bit about what are the most exciting projects that you're currently working on?
Yeah, I mean, we are working a lot with within the hospitality industry. I think for us, that's especially in the UAE a really important market. And we're talking with all the big brands, all the big ownership groups here. And what's exciting is that once they look a little bit further than just what is the cheapest rate you can get in the market. And you really go 2 or 3 levels deeper and say, like, where do you want your business to go in the next 5 to 10 years? Then it becomes really exciting. And we're looking at a big shift there, I think, in the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, can't go into much detail as to who we're going to work with, but expect to see some really cool case studies coming through.
Oh, that's fine. We won't allow any NDA breaches here, TJ. Don't you worry. But so 5 to 10 year strategies. Those are where the exciting conversations are happening in the UAE, in the Middle East. That sounds great. Since this is the FHS podcast, TJ, what in your view is the future of hospitality?
Well, for me, what is the future of hospitality is really being able to listen to your guests. I think people vote with their feet, and guests have become accustomed to the experiences they get from an Amazon, from more locally from a Noon, etc., where you have one-click checkout and a super frictionless experience. It will be within now and a year that guests are really going to demand that from their hotels. To be ready for that, you need to have the right tech ecosystem to be able to deal with that, right? What I see is still when I go on business travel and I check into a hotel that I've been to already 4 or 5 times, I still get the front office manager who wants to take me through, this is where the pool is, this is where the breakfast is served, etc. Because that's how they've been trained. That's every guest gets that tour. But why is that happening? I am there for business. I'm not there when for a holiday. I should get a very quick and easy, smooth experience because that's what I want. So I should have an option in the app to make sure that I get the fastest experience possible, that I can upload my card details in advance, my passport details in advance, and I can get my room cards immediately issued on my phone and go straight to my room. Whilst maybe a family that is there on holiday, they want that full experience. So what for me is really important in to understand in hospitality is that providing great hospitality also means listening to your guests and providing them with what they want. And especially in a hotel where you have business as well as leisure guests, making sure that you provide your guests with options is going to really be a differentiator.
I love that, TJ. So a future of hospitality where the service listens, it's hyper personalized, and is using data to its advantage and to the advantage of the customer.
Yeah.
So sounds fantastic. Well,
and that technology is out there. The technology is out there.
It's just for us to start integrating it. Well, TJ, you're joining us next month as a speaker at FHS World in Dubai, and we're very excited to have you there. What are you looking forward to the most at FHS World?
Well, I guess I can't say the cocktail reception, right? But
you can.
No, I have been visiting. Well, I have actually been to FHS also in previous roles. I've been in and around the hospitality tech scene for over 7 years here in the UAE. And what I really love about FHS is the fact that kind of the creme de la creme of the industry goes there, and not only from an ownership side, but also from a brand side and also individual properties. So it's always very nice to meet with everyone. I think the content is always very well curated, and since Adyen is now part of that journey to also shape the content of FHS, it brings us even more value. So very excited for the next iteration.
No, thank you for all the support and helping us put together this program. We're all very excited and we're looking forward to seeing you there. And I think that brings us to the end of this podcast today. Thank you so much TJ, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you and welcoming you back for another episode soon, I hope.
Likewise. Thank you very much. And best of luck.